The ever-increasing size of the public service has drawn several opinions and views following President Hage Geingoob's meeting with the Public Service Commission leadership recently. During the meeting, the head of state asked the commission to look into the size of the public service, considering the unsustainably high wage bill of $29 billion. The chairperson, Salman Jacobs, puts this into context, saying the exercise would require studies and benchmarking.
Is it just for us in this particular case to say, because the president talked about downsizing, we must just go out there and just slash the public service in half? I don't think that is what is meant. This policy statement should be seen in the context of what the president is saying. Out there, we have a situation where the wage bill is stressed by the amount of people we have up there. But then when we ask this thing, we ask ourselves, when we talk about the downsizing, are we just say, let's slash it, or are we looking at the size and saying, but what is the right size for the Namibian population? What is to be done for us to determine if we do this, this is what we are supposed to have, this amount of people, for us to say, okay, these are the people that are serving the people of Namibia, because it is about service delivery also. What should be taken into consideration if we want to have the right size? What are other countries doing? How do they do it?
At independence, the number of employees in public service was 30,000. This number includes those who were employed under the apartheid administration.
Now, current status, therefore, should be seen to reflect that reality. But according to our latest statistics that we have, our current public service stands at around 71,000 plus of the public servants. Of course, we are not taking into consideration the uniformed forces in this calculation, because when we take the uniformed forces, it goes up to 107,000 of the public servants. And that interestingly reflects a situation where 10 years ago, in our annual report of 2011-2010, the total public service was only 61,000, which is, a 10,000 addition within these 10 years that we have.
Security clusters are to employ up to 4,000 uniformed forces during the current financial year, as announced during the State of the Nation address. Their employment is partly driven by the looming retirements of up to 50% of members within the Namibian Police and the NDF as from 2024. Policy analysts, however, have a different view on ways to cut and maintain the wage bill.
1995 already there was a Wages and Salaries Commission here that looked at the public service. And one of their recommendations already then is this public service is too big, you are not going to have it sustainable. Now, some of the views that I have is, why are you asking people who are almost reaching retirement to leave, but don't punish them by deducting from their pension? But they cannot leave only to rely on the pension. You create other opportunities through financial supporting mechanisms for them to go and enter into businesses and others. These are not easy ideas, but what I'm saying is it's not sustainable, the wage bill. If you don't manage it, you are going to end up not being able to pay the people.
The Namibian government, like a number of other African countries, remain the largest employer in the economy, despite a number of interventions to stimulate private sector growth. Institutions such as the IMF and the World Bank argue that high public sector employment may lower overall productivity in an economy, and they continue to advocate for reform. Other suggestions are for governments to create a simple pay structure and reduce the number of allowances on top of public servants' base pay. Blanche Koreses, NBC News, Windhoek.